In this video, we tour a 1995 GMC Rally van. It has been built out using reclaimed materials to travel to important world events happening in the United States. This van features a deck on a fiberglass roof, a homemade swivel table, artistic tile floor, beautiful woodwork using free wood, making for a very comfortable combination home and workspace. And if you can hear, we have coyotes howling in the background.
Hey, my name is John Stiganga. I'm a photojournalist and documentarian living in a van full-time. The Dot Jose is the name of the van, but the work that I do is called Humanizing Through Story. It's actually why I moved into the van, to be able to pursue stories more fully, be able to invest in communities longer term. I just left Minneapolis. I was there for 3.5 months in this van. Just being on the streets, learning the complexity of movements and situations, and the van has given me that freedom. And so this van is a 95 GMC Rally van. It's got character for sure, and I built it out 95% myself. I got it actually from a friend of a friend about a year ago. Van life wasn't something that I was pursuing really fully. It just kind of fell into my lap. I got super lucky. The people had already started building it out with a few little things in it, and then they ended up just like, hey, do you want to buy it? And so I bought that June 1st of 2020, and I moved into it June 1st of 2020, which is wild and crazy, but I hit the road full time 2 months later, cross-country trip all the way to Washington State, and I've been nonstop since then, covering stories and documenting things affecting this country. So this is my cabin space, driving space. I just keep plants up here and a few of my trinkets as traveling. The only thing I've really changed up here is sprayed, painted a little bit black, and added this custom tapestry that I found at a thrift store, and all my national park pins up in the front, as well as this swiveling desk piece that found from a YouTube video, like 6-7 year old video. And so it all pops out, but also this piece comes off, and it has a single pipe that I can attach to my roof deck as well. And so I have a table on my roof for breakfasts, and it also again moves around to different places. A little custom curtain rod with a blanket from a thrift store as well. Majority of everything in this van is thrift store or repurposed wood, which I'll talk about next as we're going through the van. I had to rip out the floor about 2.5 months ago. I found rust underneath, and so I repurposed the wood that I did have on the floor, or it's vinyl, and then I mixed it with another color of vinyl that I found at a secondhand shop, and then I added tile to the floor, which is typically like a no-no in van life, but I just wanted to do it, and it's worked really well. And I've never done tiling, just kind of played with the idea of mountains. And so this was the original wood, this is the newer wood or vinyl, and then this is the piece, and it also is the backsplash on my van as well, so it kind of ties all of it together, and it just kind of flows as you walk through the van. One of my favorite things about this van, that majority of this wood I haven't paid for, and it's all repurposed wood from along my journey. So this piece that I've recently added on is from a farm in Minnesota. It's a big storage container. It's a tabletop for the entryway. Makes the entry really beautiful. Flips open for a tabletop on the outside as well. This piece, as you walk into it, this is all from the farm as well, from Minnesota. It has my 12-volt refrigerator in here. No freezer, but I survive real well in that. This is probably one of my favorite pieces. It's the scrap wood. There's really pretty wormwood on the side over here, but I kind of made it up as I went, and I forgot how the vehicle getting smaller on the other side, so it's just kind of pieced together, but it fits really well. It makes the space complete. It feels very cabin-esque with that in it. Everything has a story and character, and it all adds to what this space has become for me. A home on wheels, very cozy. But as you continue through the van, past the storage and the The bathroom comes into the kitchen space, which is also my bedroom, but I just installed a stovetop propane that it's connected to the 50-pound tank underneath. I have 2 carbon monoxide detectors just for safety, but luckily with it being an older vehicle, it's a drafty vehicle and there's a lot of windows. I have 2 ceiling fans as well, so I haven't had an issue once with the propane. I also use propane for a buddy heater in winter when it gets really cold. But yeah, this has been a really game changer. I used to have just a camping stove. I had to pull out, attach all the things over and over again. So this has been a real game changer. Little things like that in vehicles. One, you're living in a van. It really adds so much to it. And then all my spice cabinets, another custom shelf from wood in Spokane, Washington, with all my dry goods. My coffee collection. I've worked in coffee for like 5 years, so I have like 3 or 4 different brew methods. I love hosting people and making coffee in the morning for anyone that I may be camping around. Then it comes to my sink. I just built this kind of cover for the sink area / cutting board, but it doesn't quite fit perfectly, but it runs off a 12-volt pump that's just under the sink. I have 3 6-gallon jugs of water, which is my fresh water, and I put a bucket on the ground when I do any like gray water stuff. And I don't have any background in carpentry, electrical work, and that can always be intimidating when you're building out your home on wheels. But for me, I've just lived and learned from it, and you're a lot more capable than you think you are. As well as there's community and people that will come and support you that you don't know. So I've been so humbled by complete strangers that have offered spaces, offered power tools, that has allowed me to build this vehicle, my home. As we wrap around the vehicle, there's, as you can see, one of the ceiling fans, the other one's on the other side. It makes a great circulation, but this space is my food pantry. And so I've got all my canned goods, extra supplies, so I can keep everything sorted. So one of the downsides of this vehicle is that it's basically in a big window across the entire thing. So privacy and then heat from the sun. So luckily I have these little protectors. So there's magnets along inside each of these, as well as one on the window. And so they just stick to the window, protecting. It keeps like 20 degrees cooler, as well as I can black out the entire thing. So it's basically fabric on the outside with 2 things like that, and little magnets in the corner that match along with the windows. I go through my own platform called Humanizing Through Story, so I just push my content through that. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube a little bit, and my website. And every once in a while I'll get like contracted by someone, or they'll see my work and say, hey, can we use your photograph? But mostly it's just through my own base, and then I'm Patreon based, and so I have like 40 people that support me month to month. That gets me through, but I don't do it through corporations. I can just have the freedom to be spaces and tell a more full, freer perspective. And then all my clothes, winter stuff, and other supplies go in my closet above the driving area. So just like the food pantry on the other side, the stuff here, there's extra blankets and towels, but all my clothes and extra supplies and things, I'm not quite sure where they need to go are there. But yeah, it keeps it all sorted and organized and out of the way. And yeah, it's really handy. We go into like the living bedroom space. In the back, there's kind of a fold out or just kind of books and storage space. It kind of opens up to a tabletop on the back to serve there. I've got just custom bookshelves here. This was the flower box for my brother's wedding, but a whole bunch of different books right on my bedside. A little USB fan for cool weather. I don't have AC in the van, so fans have been a lifesaver. And this is one of the pieces of dead pine that I stripped down from a forest in Oregon. And then my herbs. So that's the only thing I miss about an actual a physical location is tending to the earth and the soil. So finding ways to bring that kind of lifestyle into the van is possible. And so like growing little herb gardens here. This wall is more of like trinkets and gifts from friends and family members and things that I found along the way. Yeah, so it's just kind of more of a visually aspect to make it more feel homey. So this is my bed. It's a small enough space, so this open all the time. It used to have a pull out, but I was never utilizing it. But I also had to get to my power supply under this, and it was just super heavy. So I got rid of the extension and then cut this board into 3 sections, so I can just fold up a part of the bed and lift up to the area that I need to get to. So this is where all the power happens. So I have 200 watts of solar on the roof deck. That powers a 100 amp hour lithium battery, a deep cycle, and I also have a inverter so I can have AC and DC power. And then the big game changer for me, so for about the first 6 months, that's all I had. And so I was in cloudy Oregon for a bit, so power would drain really quickly after like 4 or 5 days, so I'd always have to find somewhere to plug up to shore power. But the game changer was an isolator. So they installed it to my van battery up there. So whenever time I'm driving, it charges my solar setup, and I haven't had to use shore power in the past 6 months at all. And the really cool thing about that, they installed a little switch. So if my battery ever dies in my van, I pull the switch, and this battery back here will jump my van. And so it keeps me from being like stranded in the wilderness multiple times. Really, the big thing was when I bought the van, it did already have the electrical and power supply in it, and I'm not an electrical person, so that's been the journey of just trying to understand exactly how everything works. I had no background in this kind of stuff, but like learning and watching, and the van community, nomad community has been really supportive and like has helped answer questions. They've looked at my vehicle, said, oh, this is what this does, and it's been a lot less intimidating as I've lived in the van the past year, and it's like, oh, I can do this. And then another entry point to under my bed are these big sliding doors, so I can get into, kind of crawl through and pull things out if I'm not having to like access. So this is more of like my garage, quote unquote garage space, since I have a walk through the center. So all my camping gear, my propane heater for the winter, an extra fan, my toolbox, my wet wipes for showers when I don't have access to an actual shower. So this is just another entry point to under my bed, my quote-unquote garage area, where it's just got tripods for camera equipment and random knickknacks that I just kind of stuff in there. Yeah, custom made it. And then also my water supply. I have to pull out all the jugs so you can kind of get a better view from here of what I run on. And then the 12 volt powered, yeah, you can see up in that corner is kind of how everything runs. Cool thing about this, the doors can be hollow, and so I left it as storage space. So every single door is also another storage. So hammocks and propane tanks and jumper cords and frisbees all can go in the back door to just give the inside more room to be homey versus crowded with random stuff. And then there is a roof deck here. It's a fiberglass extension roof, but I kind of bent some rules and like drilled 2 of the boards directly into the fiberglass with a tar waterproofing to make sure nothing got in, and then everything else is drilled right into it. I don't have a ladder or any way to really get up, so actually the only way I do it is I just climb up here and and then that little tabletop attaches up here, and I can have meals up here and enjoy the sunsets and sunrises. Van life, nomadic life, really teaches you to slow down and be present with people that are different than you, and that has been such a rewarding and beautiful and humbling opportunity.
I want to thank John for sharing his wonderful van with us. I love how he used items along his travels to build out his van. If you loved this video, please share it. And if you'd like to see more van and rig tours, van life tips, and other videos to help women get on the road, hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. I appreciate your thoughtful comments, and if you'd like to join in deeper conversation, join our Facebook group, gal adventurers. This is Joni with the Galavan. Enjoy your journey.